Getting started this autumn, number 22. We're going to be looking at a couple of questions that have come from Professor Alistair Irons. Thanks very much, Alistair, for contributing to this, and I'll let him speak for himself.
Hello, my name is Alistair Irons. I'm a professor in computer science at the University of Sunderland. A question that's been on my mind for quite some time, really since March, is how we deal with the changing nature of higher education. In particular, the opportunities for digital education.
It's a really good question, and there are things that are happening at the moment that will certainly have profound and lasting impacts. And I guess the challenge for us is to try and work out how many of those take us forward to a vision that we've had for digital education and how many of those things are going to remain problematic. And what I'd like to do is think about the positives that have come out and then think a little bit more about some of the challenges that we might face. On the plus side, I think a lot of the barriers to change have been radically reconceptualized. Some of them have disappeared. It's not as though people are fighting for digital education against highly productive, normal modes of educational delivery. And so the alternatives to digital are looking very different now. And that's, I think, a good thing for digital education. I think it's sad for those that are going through the chaos and the crisis, but I think in terms of seeing change, it could be something that could be used to long-term good. I think the other good things are that people are trying lots and lots of different ways of doing things. So in a very short period of time, we should be getting quite a lot of evidence of what works and what doesn't work. And again, that would have been very hard to have introduced as a standardized process for change within a university system. So I think that there are some good things that are happening, and we ought not to forget about those. I think on the downside, there's still a huge amount of work to be done to actually work out what we do want to have and what we would like to see preserved of the good stuff and what we'd like to take from the old world and re-envisage or regenerate in the new world. So in an earlier talk, number 9, using analytics, I thought about sort of 4 different groups of people. Those who are great teachers, but not necessarily into the technology, those who are good and understand analytics well and able to use the technology well and perhaps to develop stuff, and then people who can get together with other people. And the educational world tends to try and make you live on your own with your teaching. The idea of genuine team teaching seems to me to be quite hard to really embed in the organizations. And of course, there are the computer scientists who could, I think, have a tremendously positive impact by helping to collect the right sorts of data and showing how it could be analyzed, but who might also tend to try and turn the whole of education into some kind of an algorithm. And so I think the challenge for us in this world is to try and find a way in which each of these communities, the blue, the yellow, the gray, and the red, are able to try and work out what it is that teaching really works like in their world in the way that they would prefer it to be. And this is quite a tricky thing to do, but I think there is an opportunity here. While there's still diversity of application, diversity of approach, there's an opportunity here, I think, to try different models and then to compare them. And again, I think computer scientists are unusually well placed to help people gather their data together, to support people in pulling the data together. So in summary, I think on the positive side, the way in which the whole business model and the time usage model is being thrown into disarray represents a positive opportunity. I think on the downside, there's a lot of variety and variation of practice. There's some bad stuff being forced through. And I think really it's up to people to turn this into a 5-year research program, work out quickly what really works, and then start to drive that onto ever higher levels of performance. So I'm available. Here are my coordinates. Love to hear from you.